Tiana, everybody. My name is Tiana Leomiti, and I'm Miss Heiva San Diego 2022. Part of my platform is to highlight Polynesian voices throughout our community. So today I have the dynamic duo, Uncle Mevina and Napua from their group that's based in Japan, by the way. Tavake Rereata.
Tavake Rereata.
Tavake.
It's okay, you ain't the only one.
Yeah.
Rereata, Tavake.
Yeah.
You may know them from their many hits such as Tuta Pere Pere, Haere Mai Koe, and so many more, beats and everything. They do it all. Thank you guys for joining me today, and let's get started.
Yes.
Yes.
Yaurana, Talafalava, Mauruuru. Thank you.
Thank you. So you guys came all the way here to San Diego to teach in the workshop that we're here at today.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired the pieces that you guys are going to be sharing with us today?
First of all, we're grateful to be here at Hiva Kaota in San Diego, just to share what we all love, our passion for Ori Tahiti and Polynesian culture. We're excited because today we're going to be doing an aparima and an otea. This aparima was originally written for our group in Japan, Tavake Rereata, back in 2013. And our theme and the lyrics for this song were actually written by my wife, Napua, first in English and then was translated by our mentor, Hedemona Mamatua. And what we try to do in this aparima is we try to compare all the different aspects of Ori Tahiti to a tree. That's like the simplest way that we can explain it, but basically every part of the tree represents Ori Tahiti, or what we do. When we think about Ori Tahiti, we think about the roots, and the roots of Ori Tahiti come from the ancestors. We think about the wood itself, and every instrument that we use to create aparima comes from a tree. How the branches stick out into the sky, and how the leaves move in the wind. That's kind of what we try to emulate when we do our aparima, or when we move. And also the fruit that is born from a tree is kind of like the fruit that was planted from the ancestors, and like we partake of the fruit, and from their knowledge we're able to take that seed and plant it and hopefully inspire future generations to keep on dancing, you know, and to always remember where the tumu or the source is, and to keep on growing. So that is the inspiration for the aparima. And we're also doing an otea, which basically has the same theme as well, but I think Napua wants to talk about that.
Yeah, so we're doing an otea, and we wanted to do an otea out here. We don't do a lot of workshops out here. Everybody knows what Mevina's done and his music and how he was the leader with Nonosina, but for a long time now, we've been together creating and cultivating our own style and our own craft in Japan, and he's taught me what I know, and then I'm able to bring other aspects into it. But it's really cool because we wanted to have an otea that would match tumu, and because he makes the music, I can talk about the images, the sounds that we want. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? And he can just get on his computer, record stuff, drum, and it can all happen. So it is a piece that we're taking from oteas that are special to us, but it also was created for the workshop, and we like to do that in our workshops. It's not like some song that already existed. It's very created for the moment, for the experience.
Yes.
Exactly, that's what we try to do. I think that's what motivates us when we work together, or our body of work for the last 13 years, mainly in Japan, is we're able to create themes or tell stories, because that was the original inspiration for why we dance. And when we tell these stories, we're able to dive deep into the language, and also I can create the music, and we choreograph together. And with our friends in Japan, Ahu Tahiti, we're able to create the costumes. We try to really be well-rounded with just any song, you know. Dancing is more than just choreography, or more than just 30 seconds doing fa'arapu on TikTok or something like that. So if you're able to do that and really put not onto paper, but onto a dance, or onto a dancer, what's really in your head, and being able to put it out there, I think that's our blessing, and that's why we're here today and to share what we love again with my wife.
Yes.
Our Aporimano.
Well, that was very inspirational. I know for one, I love dancing, and my passion for it comes from my family, but also collecting my own passion from all the pieces that we learn and all the songs that come from you guys. So thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right, for anyone that knows you knows that you guys have been MIA for quite a few seconds.
We're like, bye.
I know. If you guys didn't know, Uncle Mevina and Auntie Napua have their own group out in Japan. So my next question is, what was the transition like from California to Japan, but now Japan to California?
Oh my goodness. There's so many different aspects, but I'm going to keep it as open as possible so that people understand it. It is difficult already to move to a different country, but very exciting. So I was 20 when I first moved to Tokyo, because then there was, back then, there was a Polynesian show at Disneyland. And that was like the best job you could get as a young dancer that wasn't going to college. So I auditioned and I got that, and it was a really good experience. And the following year is when Uncle Mevina came out, and we already had friends in the hula industry and that world, very important musicians and well-respected people that were encouraging him to come out there with his music, and he wanted to start a school. It's what he knows how to do. We went to Japan and realized that there were a lot of dancers and people who loved to dance, but not a lot of schools that were, I say this without taking away from what they were doing, but there were a lot of schools that were just kind of making up whatever they wanted because they had no resources. The internet wasn't the same back then. There was a lack of resource.
Their fault.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so it was like, hey, why don't we kind of open something up that's like, look at what we do. We're outside of Tahiti too. We come from this lineage that he comes from, you know, of Nonosina and everything that was given to him, like decided to start teaching that. And it was crazy. It was crazy to move to a country and not speak. I felt safe at first because I had Disney. And then as soon as that was over, I was like, oh my gosh, my friends are gone and I don't understand and I'm homesick. But we just poured everything that we had into the people and the craft. And I think that kind of business exists in Japan because the Japanese people are so different from us, but so very similar to Polynesian people in the sense that they understand culture and respect so much that anything that we gave to them, they gave back 1,000%. So it was like omiyage of the soul, you know, like they just kept giving and it kept us there. We saw so much potential. And then we ended up having a family and living there and found a lot of community out there. There's actually a lot of Polynesians in Tokyo and a lot, we would say gaijin, but expats out there. And we ended up raising our kids there. They were in international schools and it became who we are. We learned how to be parents there. I became a mother there. He already had his son in Tahiti. He used to come out and visit us, and it was a really nice dynamic. It will always still be a part of our lives. We'll always have a place there, but transitioning back home is different. I'd say it's most shocking for our children because they were raised in Tokyo, but they're excited. The thing that we lacked out there was just family, you know, and so it's nice to be surrounded by family again, to see you doing good things and be hosted by your family. But as foreign as you can imagine a country, that's Tokyo. So that it's not just the dance world out there, it has our heart. We very much are Japanese,
We were there for 13 years, and we're still going back and forth, so it's not like we won't see Japan. But we really have made like a family with our group, Tavakere Diata. Over there, and they're still our family. You know, we have to practice what we preach. And the center of Polynesian culture, especially for our culture, Samoan culture, is the family. So we tell them, you know, we're teaching them all these different things, especially with Ori Tahiti and things like that, but we needed to come back because we missed family, and we know time is precious,
Yes.
Especially with the passing of my grandmother and everything. So we came back home, and that transition is difficult. So it's like leaving one family and then coming back
Yeah.
to this family. But because of the roots and everything that we laid there, we're always able to go back.
Yes.
And grateful to be back in California on the west side, because that's where we're from.
We missed good Mexican food. That's a big reason that we moved back.
And great fun.
I know.
Yes.
But yeah, and that's our culture. Being here in California, getting to go there and travel there and going back and forth. So we hope that it's a transition that will never end. I think that's we're always going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think
that's
that
our
duality makes us who we are as artists too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I know your guys' roots because, well, my auntie and, our whole family's connected.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to also ask you guys, who are your guys' top influential people, and how have their lessons guided you to where you're at today?
In dance, in Ori Tahiti?
Yes.
For me, my answer is going to be very different from, I think, Uncle Mevina, because I guess my entire dance career was through California. So everything that he went and traveled and did and was able to bring back is how I learned. So his inspirations are my inspirations, but I guess my biggest inspiration in dance is him. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna hold this against me later. No.
Make sure you don't edit that part out, okay?
And I had grown up in Halau when I was young. My kumu hula was Sisi Ka'eo, and I learned a lot from her. And then I moved on to Nonosina when I was about 11, and Graham was teaching, and Auntie Ricky was teaching, and I think all of my showmanship, skill, technique, basic comes directly from her. Her style was just really, like, do it better. Is it perfect? Then do it again. And I think that drive and that, like, kind of, she would say, like, kick butt technique that she has helped me as an artist, because my swords were always sharpened when it was ready for me to be able to create or use a more creative side. I was ready to be able to help him take things that I knew and whatever I was as an artist into it. But everything for me, dance comes from them. How about you?
Yeah, my greatest inspirations, again, because I come from Team Nonosina. So my great-grandparents moved to the United States, the mainland, back in the 20s to dance. And then my grandparents, my grandmother created Nonosina, which was then taken over by my mom. And then me, and another inspiration modern day is my sister. Everything that she does, the way she puts things together, the way that she thinks about things, and really puts in a lot of thought into her choreography. That's one of my modern day inspirations, as well as Hiva Kaota, to see what they're able to do. They've created here in San Diego. It's just been amazing.
Yeah.
And we're all family, but I'm being serious. Even my cousin Safa and Jesse, what he's done with music and trying, making these hotels available for everyone and things like that. I'm so proud to be related to these people and growing up together. So these are my modern day inspirations. I think also because, like what Napua said, kind of growing up in Tahiti as well, and learning everything on that side from those people. Koko Hota Hota was just amazing. I learned so much about culture and dance. The group that I came from, Oteitie, Marguerite Lai, back in the days when Teiki and Lorenzo and Tumata were there, was just an amazing time. If you're young and don't know, you can go check out like the Heiva Tahiti from 97 and 98. And those years, right?
Yeah.
Really kind of shaped what Ori Tahiti is now. Even Tiare Trumpet and the people at Heiva Tahiti gave me the opportunity to be a part of that group. And even now, groups like Hitireva, who are just so awesome with every aspect of Ori Tahiti. There's so many people, and like the list can go
Heremoana
on
is
and
one of
on.
your biggest mentors.
Heremoana Mamatua really opened the doors for
Yeah.
me, like, you know, with language and really telling me, you know, about culture, Manush,
And now Hinatea, who carries on that.
and the person that we work with most closely now, who helped us write Tuta Pere Pere, which is now available for workshop on my link, on my bio on Instagram. But Hinatea Kolombani, you know?
Yeah.
And she has the same lineage of people who trained her. So inspiration can come from all these different places. But if you don't do your homework, you're not looking for it, you're never gonna find it. Yeah. So those are our inspirations.
All right. So your guys' music and everything you come out with, everybody uses. I've used it before for a certain video. So my next question is, what is it like knowing that you guys have helped create so much craft for other people in the Ori Tahiti community?
Well,
Well, what if you're like honestly unable to be creative or really stay in this world? Number one thing is stay humble.
Yeah.
I mean, you always hear it all the time, but really, humility. We're very grateful. We have so much gratitude to everyone who really supports us, but really stay humble.
Yeah.
If once you get your ego in the way and you feel like, oh my gosh, I know everything about Ori Tahiti or things like that, you won't learn. I think in order to inspire and to create, you have to stay humble in order to keep on growing and realize that there is no end to learning more about Ori Tahiti.
Yeah.
Especially in Ori Tahiti, we have to realize that it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the people of Tahiti. This is their culture, their history. So it feels great. We feel pressure, yes, but always to remain humble and keep it pure. That's what we try.
Absolutely. I agree with Uncle. I think that a lot of the inspiration and just his following comes from that he understands that it was a gift that was given to him, that he inherited and that he had to take care of. And everybody loses their way every once in a while, but it's easy to stay grounded and humble when you look at all of the giants that came before you. His music and who he was set the stage, and it is exciting for me when we go to places and they're like, especially younger people that we don't know if they know his music, are like, Uncle, you sing that song? We didn't even know, you're just Uncle. And I think that that's exciting, watching kids like know stuff that we grew up not knowing was that great. Ori Tahiti dance world and history is shorter than most. So a lot of you guys growing up, like I'd say this generation and the ones above us, didn't even realize that we were making history or being a part of history. So it is humbling.
Yeah.
It's exciting for me to see kids love his music, people dance to his music, and when people say that they're inspired by pieces that we created together, it just makes me feel like I'm doing what I am supposed to be doing.
Yes. Well, you guys help inspire so many people, and I know people that use your guys' music that you come out with, and they're like, oh yeah, by that person. I'm like, person? That's my uncle. That's my auntie. Come correct next time. So that's how like, don't come.
It's like, let me fix my crown.
I know. Like, first
Let
of
me
all,
take this crown.
But your guys' song was even used for Heiva San Diego for our Abarima section. So
Yeah,
on
we're
behalf
very
of Heiva
grateful.
San Diego, we want to thank you guys.
Thank
We're
you.
grateful for you because those little girls, they wouldn't have any other song to dance to, and it was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you guys. All right, we're coming to the end of our special interview, and thank you guys again for hanging out with me before the workshops. Before we end, I do want to ask you guys, if you guys had a message for our youth in Ori Tahiti.
Yes, the message, that's a message that was always taught to me as well, is number one, like how I said earlier, stay humble. Realize that Ori Tahiti doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the people of Tahiti. Don't let your ego get in the way. Keep it pure, really, really try to do your research and just get all those resources. Go to Tahiti. Another thing is for everyone is who does Ori Tahiti. If you're not a part of a group, join a group. It's not something that you can just learn off of TikTok or Instagram.
You could learn the technique, but
can learn, like, certain
you'll be
things.
missing all of the good stuff that comes with being in a group.
Exactly. Join a group. Be a part of this community. Ori Tahiti is more than just solo dance. Ori Tahiti is group dance. It's this every day working out together, and
It's a camaraderie,
yeah,
the
it's
friendship.
a camaraderie.
Yeah.
So that's the most important message that I have to say, and keep it going, keep it alive.
Keep dancing.
Yeah.
Keep Ori.
Keep shining, knowing you can. No, I'm just kidding.
Finish
Thank
it.
you.
Oh,
Well,
I can't sing.
Auntie, anything?
I agree. Everything that he said, I agree. We've had a lot of time to think about that answer, and just there's so many people dancing now, and it's great. It's wonderful, and I love it. And because it promises that there is a future in this career path that we chose. But yes, find a group, do your research. Don't just try to do it on your own. Don't mimic technique or things that you see because it looks cool. Learn the culture.
It's a constant circle. Whatever is cool now,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh my gosh, I found this style. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm learning about that. It's constantly
Yeah.
changing. Ori Tahiti is living and breathing. The language is still spoken on a daily basis.
So just dive into the culture.
Yes. Learn.
The more you learn after you've mastered the technique of the movement, the more you start learning, the more you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything. That's how I felt when I first had to start teaching. I was like, I'm not prepared. And I wouldn't call myself one of the teachers for a very long time. I wouldn't speak up because until I was ready to feel like I earned it, I realized I was a dancer, but I was just a dancer. I was a student, and I had to learn how to become a teacher. And I am so happy that I had teachers that led me in the right path.
Yeah, and one last thing to add on to that. For those of you who are in groups, show gratitude towards your group leaders. It's not an easy life. Really just thank them.
And your
support
moms
them.
and dads.
Yeah, of course, your family.
Love you, Mom.
It's no one group is like, I'm the best and everyone else sucks. No, we really have to support each other. Our community is still really small, and I think if we all support each other, we can help it grow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. All right. Well, that comes to an end. On behalf of Heiva San Diego, I just want to thank you guys for, again, hanging out with me. I know you guys are excited to teach the workshop. I'm excited to take the workshop, but,
Yeah.
thank you guys for making time and, sharing your guys' messages, especially for the youth today. I know there's a lot of people that are inspired to pursue Ori Tahiti and join, and people come up to me and they're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know if it's okay if I do it, and I tell them every time, I'm like, do it as long as you're humble and as long as you know where it comes from. So
find a teacher. Yeah.
Find a teacher. Not TikTok, but so all the things you guys said today, I believe, is what everyone needs reassurance on. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
And
Good questions.
Thank you for being a positive role model with everything that you're doing. Thank you, Heiva San Diego, and we wish you nothing but the best, Tiana.
Always.
Thank you guys.